Okay, here's a trade I did on the New Zealand dollar using the infamous scripts. I tried to stick with the giant limit drops or grid drops. I did put an occasional buy in here that lasts all day long. And those should be a different color maybe to designate the drops on that, but you can usually see them because they're going to be outside of the normal either linear or kind of cluster logarithmic stuff. Like here's a log script, I know for certain that was, and I tried to stick with a daily or 12 hours so I could capture the swing high. It's 1 day from here to here. And if you're trying to make 30 pips a day, let's say, if you just pick an arbitrary amount. Oh, gee, this is going to be tough to move this guy, isn't it? I have to grab the corners of it. So this is the 30 pips a day system. So you're looking for a move like this. Coming into Asia, maybe. Coming out of Asia. This is all limits here, though. But if you were going to trade at the market and on the structures, and you're going to trade with volatility breakout systems on top of the limits, that's a different story. It's a different thing. You could do both. You could blend it. It's just more work, but it would make sense. Right now, if the market was going to be open for another hour, for another day, I would start putting the sell limits in. The big tickets are in here, and the baby tickets are going to be in here. So not too heavy in on these. These are the scalps. I'm looking for it to, this being a high pressure zone here, this is insane. Especially, it's the round number. It's right up in that wedge. And you have this enormous vacuum. Punch up into that. We're going to get some entertainment for the pullbacks. People will scalp into that, no doubt. And a lot of people are going to go, anybody that bought here thinking we're going to keep going up is probably going to go flat and just get out. There'll be a frantic spike through this possibly, and this is why you want to really save all your dry powder for everything above here for the next 15 pips. The 15 pip kill zone where you're going to lay a bunch of tickets in here. Just anything you can think of. Preferably it's going to be a martingale where it sells, 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 sells. I saw that Ryan Brown was able to sell manually into it by selling a 1 standard lot here and a 2 standard lot there and waiting for the pullback and cashing out and making $1,000 manually trading it because he knows how to trade. The idea that you're going to turn this over to a robot and he's going to go to his coding school, so cute. He made money so he can go to coding school so he can cocaine, right? So you can do more cocaine so you can import more cocaine. But this is going to be some kind of craziness, and this curve is right at the round number. This is the floor that we should see the first sellers come in maybe by the end of today as it closes out into the weekend. But for anybody willing to buy these, which I was willing, this I did not get filled. This is an instance where I was expecting it to go deeper. And when I finally did load that ticket bank, we'd already been there. So we never even came back. But I did capture the top because I could perceive this hole. That's why I stacked up all these tickets. And I put them in thick because I'm expecting, okay, we're going to get in on this, right? As it comes tumbling back to here, this is where the confirmation traders are buying to go long, because they think this is a double top, became a bottom, breakout, pull back, keep going. Don't forget it's in an uptrend. Everybody's moving averages are both. Every indicator in the world is saying we're going up. But look at this beautiful stop hunt, so to speak. That's just a saying. I suppose this is what's really available price-wise. These little mini vacs are gone. Like, that's been taken care of. That's like the bird that found that last little nugget, a little squirrel. This other one, this is the loneliest wick. It's 5 bars back, and that is an insane fill. And this is also the structure people. Even they're overshooting the runway on close, they're coming back to a double top, roughly. When the markets heat up, the angle becomes skewed like this, where you get a top become a bottom. Like on an angle, it really starts to go nuts. Like here, there's not even a chance to really get in. There's no buy bot that's going to buy at the market that I would run. All my market buy bots are going against the market, so it's going to buy here at the market, here at the market, here a little bit. It's going to buy at the market with, say, a 20 pip stop or something, and maybe I get stopped out of this. But if I keep buying every hour it's down, I'm buying more here just naturally. See, it's a natural trade. It's just a natural thing. If it's down, I'm buying. If it's up, I'm selling. I want to be selling more here, but I've got money donated to the limit banks here. Am I going to sell at the market here? Sure, if I catch it. But do I need to babysit that? Maybe not. Sure, if a robot's going to sell at the market, then he's going to make money. He's going to hold these two. Another thing is, how long do you hold it? This is the bottom. This is the cash out floor for any rational person that's going to go with a structured trade, but it just crushes through, because the problem is that this hole is just so needy, right? This is a 2-hour hole that needs it kind of chunking through it. It's just cutting through it, like just carving that out, recarving it. So the market's always carving out these holes. Once you go below here, people are cashing out here. They're not even waiting for that. Right? If you bought here, you're at break even when it comes back to here. And if you survive this plunge, it must have occurred to you that you wanted to buy more. Now, if these lasted all day, and I don't know if they did, and the stops were wide enough on this, these are up if you waited for that to play out on that currency pair. Also, if you place limits, you're getting in on trades that you're going to find yourself in a winning trade or a losing trade. You're just going to let the market come to you. It's just not. You're not going to have to make the decision at the market. You kind of got to get your timing, or you got to, you really got to look at it every hour if you're trying to get this setup that's going to take 5 hours, right, or a 5-hour wick, and you're going to sell into that or something. Like your strategy is some, whatever it is, right? Hopefully on the hourly, you're going to look at the volatility every hour. So the only trading that you would do where you're babysitting it is you're watching this form a low volatility situation. You're like, holy shit. And it's staring down these lows to be smashed. It takes these out like, the cascade effect. Once it cuts here, it's just like, wow, all of a sudden this vacuum is actually older than that one by an hour. So it's actually, as it's collapsing into that, when it gets below here, people are like, oh, we're in. And then here comes the buy at the market people. And they only buy at the market maybe when it's down hard. So I would do that also. If it's down light, I'm going to buy with tight stops. Maybe I get stopped out. But if it's down big, I buy more. Or do I try to make money on the last little bit? Don't forget, this was a winning trade for somebody that has a tight spread. They bought this nick of the wick and they cashed out here into the nick of that wick. There's this trade inside of this giant down move just by the whole ricochet factor of the market. And people probably cashed out into here. If you're not trying to wait for that last pip, there's only an hour and 5 minutes left, you're probably out and flat and went home. So that's what I did. I went flat. And I only made about $300 because I really traded pretty lightly. See, I could have piled in here. And this another thing is to trade all these currency pairs based on this whole. You want to gobble up this whole area with limits. It's only 20 pip zone, kill zone. Never makes it to here, amazingly. Maybe you had a master stop there. You know, the deeper back your stop is, the less likely it is to get hit also. Because if you have a trailing stop like this, if you're bullish and you have a trailing stop, they're like, oh, fuck. They just stopped me out. And then you're like, I'm glad they did. But then they came back and they stopped this guy out that had a trailing stop that has the... It'd be great to fade a money management system. In other words, here's in EA. This should be writable. I kind of hope I can learn this code before Ryan Brown does. I'm just going to describe it to somebody. What we're going to do is run a trailing sell stop, like a money management system. And you get to pick how many bars back. There's the 2 bar back. So we get to see all these systems getting either trapped or saving you from risk of ruin. Trailing sell stop. Come up, trailing sell stop. And how many bars back, though? So it's going to do a cancel replace. It's going to take that one out. It's going to move it up. It's going to trail it. Is it going to go back 2 bars and survive this little mini stop hunt, see? Or are you out there? Like, this is always the question. Once this starts to go, you let your profits run, are you going to be so snug in your, for the Forex Hangout guy that's on the 5-minute fractal, he would be trapped on the south side on that, right? He would get a breakout. He's made a new low or downtrend, then they just keep going up. And eventually, you're right. In other words, if it's pushing up against a window like that, where it's nudging into these prices, most rational people are going to get the fuck out here. Like it's been going up for 8 hours straight. This is the healing of this punishment of this hole. And this hole left behind. So it's a dual pull on this thing. In other words, it's satisfied this hole, and now it's going after this hole that it left behind. And this is what I said in a video a long time ago, is this is the vacuum underneath this price floor on Wix. So that's really a big deal. This is like when your toilet's plugged up. When you take a plunger to this, I mean, this is insane. Now, after you took out this, and almost this, which is just like rock, and this is the only doji in the whole thing. So if you carry this doji forward under the 10-yard line, this is the feeding zone. This is why the market reversed here. This is an anchor price. It's also a double top from way back. From at least 2 days ago. It's all that matters. So this cut and run shit. Now we expect all sorts of choppy nonsense. Now I'm going to put buy limits in maybe. Okay? Maybe. Now, if I run this ticket and it's going to last all day, this one lasts 12 hours, this one lasts 8 hours, 4 hours, 15 minutes, right? See, now I don't have to go to the 5-minute chart now, because now I can just say, oh, they're going to fucking come after this guy. Would I buy that on a limit for a scalp to here? Would I buy this on a limit for scalp to here? Now, if you watch the Apari guy do this wobble thing, if he would just to put in his limits here and just see how that fills up and just kind of let it happen. If it doesn't happen, then you would just pull the trigger at the market every time. You'd have to have another rule set to interweave. But it's like jump rope. Are you going to wait till the jump rope gets to your speed, or are you going to learn how to jump in the middle of the market spazzing up and down, and that's just a kind of a news blip that's going to fill a void, and then it's going to come flying out of the void. Same on the north side. So there's plenty of trades here for people to make 10 to 20 pips. $200 for this Apari guy. He's he had this girl trade at the market for $25K per ticket, and he babysat her through this swing trade, and she made like $400. So it's really not. You don't need this. So I had a big fight with this guy called the Grower or something, and apparently he's gay because I call him a faggot, and he's like gave me a heart like thing. So I just kind of punished this guy about him copyright striking me for his silliness with his Gartley patterns and stuff. Harmonic trading. You can't say harmonic or they'll send you a thing. So it's kind of funny because the market's stacking up its own ticket bank inventory. If you look at this as like supply and demand zones, but the when the demand is, you know, out of balance with the supply to the point where you just run out, there's nobody else there that needs that, and we just go to the other side. So an aerial view would be you're just running the ball back and forth. The vertical view is there's maybe pressure above, the barometric pressure is changing on the chart. And the shock in the news, and once it goes into insane prices and comes back and and it's like, okay, now what is the well, it's like a train wreck kind of in a way. When the market first moved, the very first time it ever moved, it kind of is leaving this path of destruction to the up and down side, or right to the left, or aerial view back and forth. And it's like you can kind of see, well, we've been there. And when the market gets quiet, it has it has a personality in a way. It becomes something else. So it's the same market, it's the same instrument, but the volatility is the issue because it's catastrophically moving to try to make up for lost time in a way. Lost price over time. So there's that disparaged, the wrong price left behind. And then it gets that. So right here you'd have to say, yeah, you know what? If you got it at 65.9 and just called it a day, you're good. Now stock's just closed. Now you got 1 hour left. So from a breakout standpoint, there's no breakout bots that are going to come online now. If you're trading at the market, you're kind of fucked for trying to like even get a trade going here. You kind of have to wait for next week to do the rinse and repeat. Now we might come back to here and take out all this price, right? We take out all this stuff and come shearing back down, and you're going to fill up on limits again and cash out, and it's going to be a range trade. Or is it just going to come to here and maybe here, then it's going to keep cutting north, and it's going to come to here, and it's going to keep cutting north. You have to have a trade plan for different scenarios based on different pip ranges. Or is this just, is the cork popped on this party, that the party's over? You know what, just throw some limits in down here and sell limits up here, buy limits here, just step way away from the market and wait for them to ram it up and down. If it's going to come down here, there's bigger buyers here than there are here, and these are the light buyers. These are the heavy hitters are buying down here. They're like, dude, this is support. Okay, I know that we went rocketing down, but that doesn't change the fact that this will always be a good price. Or we went drifting down and it fits your scenario because now your moving averages are all behaving and they're catching up, and your indicators are all giving you bullshit because now it is the perfect trend, and it is but then all of a sudden out of nowhere it gets all spiky and there's weird shit going on, right? Like this premium entry on limits that are set into those lows, and you don't fill down here, but you fill this one and you make X. Me, I put the order in late, so that is not a good trade. Now if I go to the 4-hour chart, it looks like a perfect entry because those balls are sitting on top. So it's kind of a trade journal in a way. If you don't delete these balls, and if you put on the candlesticks or the line chart, you'll get arrows instead of a candlestick. you get arrows instead of balls. And some people would rather see that, but the balls are really prominent. The arrows are going to be better for certain backgrounds, and maybe if you're back testing, it's more precise looking. You can see the color. I got black for the limit grids, and then the so every time I see a limit grid. So here was a okay scalp, I guess. I had to manually get out of this trade. I got filled on these balls. Now I don't know. These probably didn't last long enough, but they should have lasted longer. And this is why the more tickets you can put in that last longer, the more money you're going to make swing trading. This is the daily chart. Well, I mean, this is the 1 hour chart, but this is only 3 days of data. If you have the time to place these orders, and you should have, the people that are saying that they can't take advantage of these markets, I would say if you can find one of these curved low things where the higher lows are really snug, that's really a big deal. Because it's also a low volatility area, which is like a doji. When they cut into that price, here's your bargain hunters coming in there and pulling it back to that, and then it's going to grab the top of that wick. It's very subtle. It's a 5 pip stop hunt, so to speak, to play this little game here till it can finally come up to here. It never makes it to this wedge, but when it does make it to that wedge, we get that reaction. Here I would be selling. I'd totally get the fuck out here or start a new sell right now. If my market bot's selling at the market, it went short and short and it's holding. The limit bot, this wedge here, once we fill that and we dick around there, and there's some decent scalps, that this last fake breakout in Asia, then we come trampling down into here, and this is a big deal because I'm sure people would have loved to buy here, but this is as good as it got. Was this 20 pip smash, and then they trapped the 4 hour bots here, and then they ripped it down here. So if you're looking at this as far as them abusing the do-gooder people that put sell stops here, the bears that claim it's in a downtrend, so you can't be this person. You don't want to get so late into this trend that you're saying it's going down, and then, you know, you're down here and you don't get out, and you sold this breakout thinking, well, look, it just took out the low of the day, it's just going to keep tanking. But when it takes out the low of the day, that's a big deal. This is the day before, so there's a window in here. Without going to the 4 hour chart, you can just see cleanly that the scalpers made their 20 pips. They got the fuck out, but then here it's roaring back because it left this void behind, and this is the void under the floor, just like in the other currency. If this is your bottom of the day that becomes a top in Asia, that these holes underneath that price is like insane unfair because it's trapped under this one too. So it's like an auction within an auction. This is like the accumulation under the floor of this big deal price that was the low of that, and we weren't able to take out the low of the previous days, so it was trapped between these 2 days, right? This is the low of the day here. This stuff goes on over and over again. I mean, if you can see the auction trade, you can just make money without having to babysit these markets, honestly. I mean, I guess if it's a thrill, I guess, to trade at the market. But if you can see this low, and this is the low of the day, and this is the low of the day, right? You just don't want to overcomplicate this. If you had an indicator that was running the low of the day, you'd have to wait to the end of the day, and it's going to come in like this. This is what they call lower, higher lows. That's my version of a higher low. It's going up, and we're trailing that, and then, you know, the money management bots that are running stops on the daily get stopped out here. Maybe it went long here on a buy stop. Now imagine, I can't really, but imagine you put a buy stop here and you went long, and then you're running a trailing stop. Every time it goes up, you're on a trailing stop, and then you finally get stopped out here. You see, you just didn't make any money. Even though you're right, you wait for too much confirmation. If you can see this as being the low of the day, right? Then we go underneath. We get this vacuum underneath the floor. There are people scalping this nonsense. All of this haggling here, this accumulation that is underneath this hole. Then it comes roaring out of that, all pissed off, into this low, right? Into the Asian session, which is right at this double bottom, then running back. So you're on the daily chart. I mean, you can just treat this as a daily chart. I guess if you can mark these areas off every day. That's the high of the day. That's the low of the day. This is the low of the day, and it looks like this is going to be the high of the day. Isn't it easier to place tickets at the end of the day based on the hourly order flow? What do you want to call it? I'm going to delete these balls. So maybe you want to take a snapshot of these balls before you delete them, because let me get rid of the price here. Okay, so this is the guppy. Now, you really have to have kind of a nice 50 pip stop on the guppy, and I was running a wide stop. So I'll turn this click through. So we got the what's the next place to place orders on it? I like here. Anything below that, just put a big swimming pool of tickets in there. It just wouldn't matter. I would buy way more down here though. Anything below Friday's low. Also, this is a really sweet place to get in. Now get in heavier here. And this looks like a fucking great place to buy is down here. Now I don't know if we'll make it down there, and if I'm going to trade this at the market. Every time it's down, I'm going to buy at the market. That's just how it is. If it's down big, I'm going to buy more. So I got my market orders, got my limit orders. I don't think I would run stop orders. I try to anticipate the breakouts. If I accumulate at the market, buying and selling, I can lock in a winning hedge here. So I could just be like range trading with, if you really have to trade every hour, if it went down here, went down I bought, went up I sold. Okay, maybe I'm out. But if it's up big, I sell. If it's down big, I buy. Maybe it has to be up big, I sell. It's down big, I buy. I just made 2 trades. If I traded both directions in 2 hours, I just made 30 pips. It'd be hard for somebody that sees Gartley patterns to trade like that, because they'd be like, wait a minute. Got to give me a minute here. Is this my A to my B? I think it is. Of course, it would just jump out at you. You'd be like, oh, I see what you're talking about. Yeah, that's a 618 inside that. I get you. Yeah, no, I see what you're saying. No, here, let me get this. Oof. But I mean, by the time I can't really, so sticky on here, I can't get it going. Here's the Gartley. Wait, and that some people claim, dude, you're doing it wrong. Listen, man. I got in right here because of this. Can't you see the fucking Gartley in that? Anybody knows you need 2 of them. Here's my bat wing. You know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to go up against that Carney guy, and I'm going to call this moronic trading. I'd be like, this is the, what would you call this pattern? Get like a swastika, for God's sakes. Get MetaTrader to break out like the Nazi entry. Nazi scanner. Come on. Where's your sense of humor? Yeah, how about springtime for Gartleys? I don't know. But it's hysterical. How about we do stuff that's symmetrical? Here we'll do the hourglass trade. Now it's being difficult. Just when I want to make fun of it, when it's my turn. Okay, so here's the hourglass setup. So you got to get that so you can drag the whole thing over. Can't you see my entry, man? Anyways. I'm looking for the coming in here for the plunge. Here's the next problem. Let's look at this one. Here was the buy window on the 4-hour. We're going to sell above there. Buy more down here. What about the infamous dollar yen? I only got one good trade out of this thing today. I don't even know if I got filled on that. Just barely. See, now this is a problem. I bought this rock bottom thing as it collapsed. I had too many deep orders that never got filled. That's a problem. Look at this. Didn't even get this price. I may have deleted the objects though, because I had so many tickets in there. That's another thing. If you're going to use this as some type of journal, you have to kind of be strict enough not to delete the thing that you put up here. We don't quite get a bottom become a top. This is when the market's accelerating so hard that it's banging on this trend line more than it's coming back to the horizontal structure. It's just off to the races. This looks like a no-brainer to buy down here next week if we make it. Look at this thing all pissed off and plunging. Never even made it to this window, so this would have been a failed sell window. Never made it there, but boy, you got to be willing to get in here, I think. The daily chart has more opportunities because you can see this big vault here that you don't see on the 4-hour. You do, but it's not as brutal because you can see the game work on the 1 hour better. See how it comes up into that. Let me see if I can get this better. I should have highlight after things turned on, but I don't. There's another setting here. Wait. Yeah, I'm gonna make it a box. This way it cuts over the wicks if I make a box out of it. Anyways, this is a very deep vacuum. Plus, this is a pivot turning point here. So it's a classic right at the 20-yard line. Oh, that grid I accidentally turned on somehow. Jesus Christ. Make me crazy. So I'm using a 10 pip grid here, but look, these are tight slice windows, but see, we never made it to here, so that was a failed situation. No fill up there. I think it's better to bet this zone here because that's a better gotta make fancy colors now. Red orange. Oh, it's too much. Red orange. Hate it. It's bad shift on that. So the 1 hour trailing buy limit system that's looking for, it's only going to run maybe 5 pips deep. And every hour it's running 5 pips deep, 5 pips deep. It's going to get picked up on this. If you have a 10 pip deep limit bot running behind, and maybe it only launches when it gets a big in other words, if it gets a shallow move, it runs shallow ones. So here it's going to run this size of pullback. And if it has a big one, it's going to run them really deep. But it doesn't get filled on as many tickets. Only when it gets So here it goes rocketing up. It's running buy limits behind. And if these buy limits are still enforced, the ones from back here, like you just let these last longer, that's different than letting a buy stop or a sell stop last longer down here. So if you have a sell stop that's here, maybe you don't want to get filled here on a sell stop because it's just too old. It's not like the sell stop should be here if it's really going to be a snug entry. But these 2 hours take away your buy stop, sell stop entries from the low pip risk. Robots would never get in on this, right? This is too much volatility for any breakout bot to get in on. It's running tight stops. It would put a buy stop here and a sell stop here. It would get in here. And on confirmation kind of thing. And it's going to run a trailing. And it's above break even now. If it got in here, it's above break even. So, inside of all these zigzags are 3 trades. There's the market orders guys that are going, you know what, it's up, we're selling, fuck you, it's in this window, it's up, we're selling, we're in my window, we're in my kill zone. The limit guys are just like, dude, I'm getting filled, shut up, I don't want to hear about it. The other guys are like, well, I'm a confirmation goober and I got a sell stop here, and once they fill that, I'm going to put the people that don't care about volatility on sell stops, by the way. Like, there's all these different systems. There's probably easily 10, well, let's just say there's 3 in the crudest form. There's stop, limit, and market systems. And then there's what's the logic criteria to launch the trade plan? Are you looking for a explosion in price, or are you looking for a retraction after the explosion? If you're going to do a retracement, it's going to be the healing mode of the market as it comes back into this top. It's worked its way all the way back to here. The buyers are coming in now again for some type of romp to here, possibly. We don't know. If we're going to just focus on one instrument, then we know the trade plan might be, well, let's just look for a deep, we're going to buy way more here than we're going to buy here. And we just leg into it, and maybe we make our 10 pips, and then we come back, and maybe we're looking for the take. The bulls are hoping that we can take these tops out like a zipper. This is a nice serious pullback. It's his complete inversion of the New Zealand dollar. And, this was a big deal, was to make it above here. And if you could afford to have a 20 pip stop, you're up on that trade. By 30 pips right now, it's just how you place all these tickets. You just couldn't throw them in without regard to, is it a logical trade? So that might be a problem. But if you're an intuitive or a emotional trader, maybe you're trading at the market, you know how to trade at the market without blowing up the account. If you're going to build a position at the market, and you're like, oh, it's slamming down, let's buy some here. And you see, oh, you know what, it's going to keep tanking. And you can see what the breakout traders are thinking, or the continuation people are like, oh, no, it's going to keep tanking. Let me just sell. In other words, the market goes sideways, maybe you're getting out of your ticket, or maybe you stopped out already. And you go, you know what, I have no trade plan for that kind of market. I don't have a market order that I can trade because I'm going to need a 50 pip stop. If I'm going to get into a plunge of 30 pips in 1 hour and I have a 50 pip stop, I'm almost saying that, I can almost survive this plunge because the next hour may be another 15 pip of follow through if the market's really storming. And structurally, it's going through new zones, right? I guess I'm asking for a lot of criteria to line up there, but I'm saying if you're in a bus or you're in a train, and you realize that you're on a train, it's going to take a long time to stop that thing. You need, same thing in a boat. If you're coming in the shore, there's no brakes on a boat. You kind of got to get the momentum to die out just right. But that's not true for other things, you know, like hummingbirds turn on a dime, take off. So the market can be both of those personalities. It can be a train, or it just keeps churning in one direction, or it can be just completely static nonsense, ranging. And it's the same instrument, but it's going through this, and you can kind of see that it's got the room to go spastic. So it's this revisiting prices, but from so far back that people aren't really. I'd say there's a big. The void is scary because people are like, you know what, this is where sellers come in, and the guys that are buying go, this is where the sellers. In other words, I think everybody's aware of, like, you know what, I think it's done. I think it's healed, right? I think that the market is retraced. I think it's done retracing, and even if it's not, at least you're banking some money out on that high probability. Maybe you don't ride it for the engulf, but you take it to the where it broke out, pulled back confirmation, where the confirmation guys are getting in to take it down or to take it up. If you know that this is a structure level that just broke out, pulled back, and it's 15 pips, you have to admit that that's a 15 pip trade and get the fuck out, right? Or you would say, I don't give a fuck, I'm trying to build a long position, and I knew that would happen. Like when you drop something, hey, I knew that would happen. It just really depends, what you can withstand, what you're comfortable with, Like if somebody says, hey, you're just a complete asshole. You're like, yeah, I know. Like, you really got to hit me with something harder, And of course, then you can try to out sarcasm somebody, I suppose, when it gets to that. And the market's the same way. But the market doesn't have this continuity where it's the same person every day. And you can see that it's at the mercy of the voids that it left behind. All that baggage left behind void-wise catches up with the prices. And you could either be there to capture in the window that's obvious, or you can trail your buy stops when you think, hey, you know what? We're in buy mode. Let's just put confirmation stacks on top. Get picked up in the stream. If you're going to do that, then you need to have the 5, the 8, the 9, the 10, the 12, the 14 pip winners, so you can stream out and be up on the trade, even if you have money management stops coming and trail behind you in some goober 25 pips or, 1 times the ATR trailing stop nonsense, not accepting the reality of the market of what's doing auction-wise. You could ignore that. Yeah, you could have a relationship where you just have some Autobot. That's it. My next relationship, I think I'm just going to get an Autobot that kind of sends out romantic messages randomly. I'd be like, yeah, I think I'd shut that down a little bit. It's too wallpapery. I think she's going to figure it out. Are you really there? Are you just sending like, hey, what's up? I had some guy do this to me in the store. He was doing it to people when they came in. Hey, you dropped something. I was, dude, you know what? You're going to drop something. It's going to be your front tooth. Like, don't even play that game with me. So I dropped something. Why I oughta. It's like getting stopped out of a trade, I suppose. I always like to tell people their tires are low on air because I'm really good at seeing. I can just tell how many pounds of pressure on your tires by looking at them. I mean, I've seen these people with high-end, low-profile. They must have 5 pounds of air in that. They run flat tires. I don't know. There, I didn't complete that sentence for you. Run flat tires. Yeah, look that up. Google that. So back in buy mode on the dollar yen. Now, what could you say about this trade? Was this a good trend trade on the 4-hour chart? I mean, I can't see how harebrained the Gartley thing is. Just making a Gartley right now. Shut the fuck up. Can't you see what's going on in these markets? It ain't random. I know it's really not. In terms of structure, it's not. I mean, it makes sense that this would be where people are selling up here. I guess from that standpoint, it definitely makes sense. Here's definitely going to be my first order bank in a easy 5 pip window. Wait. Yeah, 5 pip window. And then more down here. And here I just have to commit to buy more. The 4-hour view is a completely different story. And if you can handle the 4-hour view, which it's tough, right? I mean, it's a whole different kind of way of seeing your tickets get filled, and you wouldn't get as many ticket fills probably because, like I said, if you put your sell limit up here, and just no fill, it's very disappointing. So there's something between missing out and the fear of missing out and there's got to be a balance point between not trading, it being too safe and too confirmationistic. Because the breakout traders on the 4-hour bots that had a scalp built in were able to pull at least 8 pips out of this thing when it broke this. But then they're trapped here. But if a money management bot comes in beneath that to trail stops, then you're going to be up. That robot is going to make money. So there's a way to put a trailing stop. I might try that on my, I might try to add a every time I add code to my thing, it just totally destroys the program though, so I don't know how to do that. But I could probably, I don't know, it's so hard because the code is like, you got to take it and slice it, and you can't use quotation marks when you're trying to describe code to somebody. I don't know how you do it. I guess you just put the code in there, go from here on. Everything below here, put the forward slashes in front of it because, yeah, if you could have separate robots do separate functions, come in and do separate kind of trades. This Ryan Brown's trying to build some scalp bot, and I just don't know if it's going to trade 24 hours. It's going to get annihilated in Asia. A scalping, I mean, I don't know, with a floating spread, I just don't know if you can do it. You got to think about that stuff. Kind of drive you crazy, people trying to get something that's going to fit the insanity. And then he was making excuses for the market behavior by saying, well, there's all this trouble in the politics. Dude, there's always trouble in politics. You can't blame all this shit on the fucking news. Okay. Look at the weekly yen. Can you believe this fucking thing cranking south? So I'm buying below here. Anything below there, insane. You really think we're going to take this wick out? So it's total buy zone for me. Unfortunately, on the 1-hour chart, really, it's a different world. I'd say that, see, God, my computer's not liking my adjustments. This window, right here, this slot, I don't need to go to, I could print the weeklies out and the monthlies and go, holy shit, right? I could just get a piece of paper and I could pretty much just draw on that and kind of get a feel. But see, if I go to the monthly, you lose all perspective for what it's like to make just 20 pips, Sure, you could go to the monthly and you could say, well, look way back here. But honestly, this is 200 pips. How much money how many pips are you trying to make? Look at the weekly. For love of Pete, it's below this fucking price. This is insane. If this is a trap, look at the daily. You're underneath the floor of the month. You're halfway through the year, right? We've been going down for how many months? Look at this monster 300 pip down. Not only we're running out of momentum. You really think it's going to keep going down? Man, look at that. So, this looks like a nice, insane retracement. Even the breakout traders on the weekly made money here, waiting for that small 60 pip bar. They put a sell stop here, a buy stop here, and they're like, yeah, I don't even know what you're talking about, dude. This is fucking obvious trend continuation shit. You're selling at the market because it's up. It's like, duh. People buying this bottom. I call this the smile signal. So you need this. How about some good porn patterns? I call this the caught. I'm trapped under the bed listening to you with the pool boy. Oh man, jeez, what are you doing up there, honey? I call this the grin. Take my mastering grin trading. No, this is the hammock entry. I'm sorry. This is me just lounging around. Look at this dead cat bounce sell. I call this the dead cat bounce sell bot. Anytime I get a shallow rally, we just load up with big fat targets out here. Got stops like this, big fat targets. We just let her go. In fact, if it is drifting up, you are going to run the tighter market orders. If it's a drift move, run tight stops. If it's a blister move, run wide stops. Blistering down, get in with a stop here. It's inching up, sell with a stop. Inching up, sell with a stop. They kind of stopped you out if you ran too tight a stop. Inching up, sell with a tight stop. Breakout traders, everybody's in on this. Classic failure swing on the weekly. Drifting up. Oh boy. Never fills this until we do the first fill, but then we come back and get all of this, and we're still getting it. This is going to be insane. I don't think we're going to take out this wick down here. This is the end of the week. This is the moment of truth on the dollar yen. So, dollar yen, insane dollar smash. Recovery, the dollar's getting smashed. I think this is the final stop punt for the Australian dollar. This is the big new low trap on the weekly. It's halfway through the year. Look how it's just like dollar yen. It's down in the bilge here. Insane. These are insane prices. New Zealand. Wow. Insane. But I mean, it really depends what time frame you're on. Look at dollar CAD. So here's where I made some decent money because I put in all these guys on the 4-hour chart. These are my good fills back here. Big limits below the round. Got stopped out of maybe a couple, but rode most of that to here. Then I got the fuck out. If I wasn't out at my targets, which these targets looks like they filled. So that was a perfect bank of orders. Here was another perfect bank if it lasted long enough to get filled. This row here and this row here, and then this one was all no fill down here, but it would have been great to see it come in deeper. So coming into Asia, I could see this hole, and I said, you know what, I'm going to put orders in that hole. Now it looks like one last rally into the close of the market now. Coming after this, put sell limits in here all over again. Never came back to this. Never came back. These are tight stop buys, down a little bit, buy tight, not a bad trade. If it's up, big sell. When it gets tripped this window, you know, that's the scalpers are coming in on that one. Pull it back. Right, you should be able to see this high. And look how it closed up hard at the end of the hour, and then it went a little bit higher. That was the sell window for the scalpers. I think the scalpers are out. I think we keep churning up to here, and then the sellers come in again, and on possibly, or it's just going to tumble down. So you have both scenarios available. Stop market limit. That's all you really got to attack the to try to get your stuff going here. I deleted a lot of these tickets back here, but this is the big contention, was the collapse into this hole, which I said this is going to be the buying opportunity. Of course, you're not quite at break even on this first ticket, but that was a monster fill, right? Once it spiked below here, it was like, wow, what a frenzy. Never made it to here. That was a feeding frenzy. So you look at the daily on that, and you're like, holy shit. Now, we could still, people are going to scalp out here. Sellers are going to come back in. Confirmation breakout people are going to claim, oh yeah, this is where you add to your short, obviously. But, you know, we'll see. Because this is a contention point, and if we don't see enough people take it, the obvious safe trade is to put more buy limits here. Buy new lows. Always buy new lows, because it's an obvious place to get in logically. And buying this new low, yeah, you're underwater. But you had to commit to this whole zone, I think, to make that trade worth your while. Just like this one. If you committed to this entry in buying the new lows of the month, so you're actually going to go against the breakout traders. They get in a confirmation of breakout of the low of the month. They make money on the way down. They say, look at, we're killing it. Look at our system. Right? The turtle traders sell here, and they get, if they don't get out on something, they get crushed. They take it all the way here, and maybe they stop them out. But maybe their stops are wide enough and they got out here. The way you have your stops and your take profits set up, and if you can run all 8 systems, all 8 strategies, you can do everything everybody's doing, then you're probably going to have a nice smooth equity. But if you only take certain setups based on insane criteria, like, so people say, why do you make fun of, why do you rip down these other people's trade systems? Because you see how ridiculous their rule system is. It's like, okay, well, if it comes up here and we get a double top and then I get a low ATR 10, I'm going to get in here. Okay, but dude, you've got so many filters on a dumb shit trade. It just should be a dumb shit auction trade to begin with. You can get all fancy later. But this new high of the month must mean something. Look at the people that sold into that and made 50 pips as it came back off the high of the month. Every dotted line here, in case you didn't know. This is the month, beginning and end. So when you take out the low of the month, which it's not able to do very often, here's the taking out the low of the month. Look at the reaction in a 10 pip window at the low of the month. Gee, I wonder why I went ripping up. And don't forget, it's a daily chart of trailing pressure of not a higher high. It's always a lower high. My version of lower high is 1 bar back on any chart. Really, any chart. Because I'm not going to claim this low. I'm not looking at, right, so some people, this is another big kind of thing I didn't realize with the Forex Hangout guy, is that his idea of a lower low is like, this is a lower low compared to this low. I'm like, dude, in my book, no. This is a higher low, now it's a lower low, right? But it's like, these are higher highs, but are you going to claim to me on the daily, well, look, it's going up, we're making higher highs. Dude, they're fucking killing you if you're buying there. They're killing you. The ATR, the true range here gets so quiet that a lot of people are like, holy shit, that's an inside bar bot. Well, not really. It's almost an inside bar. That's another problem. This inside bar shit. Dude, the whole point of an inside bar is the fact it's low volatility because it's so low. It's inside of the previous day's volatility. An inside bar is a volatility setup. It has to be. It's the same as a hammer. An inside bar is a hammer, right? This is a 2-day hammer. Do you ever run a chart that can do 3-day candles? Okay, so you'd start to see candles that you're like, holy fuck, look at this doji on the 3-day candle. It depends what day you started your candles, see? The issue, the candlesticks should be treated as individual signals. You should have a 20 pip doji bot, a 5 pip doji bot, a gravestone bot, it's got a range of 32 pips and the body is 8. A special bot comes out and trades that. This is what I'm talking about. If you could build a robot that does one trade plan, all it does is it looks for a 30 to 40 pip wick with a body that's 10 to 15 and it launches a script based on that, or a series of scripts based on that. Trade tickets based on that. It's a unique bot that only does one function. Then you write another bot. You write 10 bots like that, and all they're doing is the same kind of dumb shit breakout strategy. And you may have your limit. You may be trading around that with your limits and trading at the market. But maybe that's if you should fall and you can't get up, say. You don't want to deal with babysitting a dumb shit mechanical trading system. You still couldn't live off it because it's not going to make. Okay, it may get in here on the daily. Like, I don't know if this is Sunday, but this low volatility. Imagine this is a 4-hour chart. We've seen this in a 4-hour chart where they just kind of just keep pounding here. We get a triangle. Another thing is this is a triangle for me. I'm not looking for a triangle out here. Dude, that's so far away from reality. These are daily bars. If you can't make money in 20 days by just selling with the crudest systems. Okay, imagine a crude system. It's up, I sell. It's up, I sell. It's down, I get out. This is how Ryan Brown made money. He sold, then he sold one standard lot, then he sold 2 standard lots, then he got the fuck out. That is a great fucking trade. That is so simple and so stupid. But what if it keeps going up? Okay, dude, well, where's your stop? How much money's in your account? How often are you going to do that trade? Are you going to do it here? It's down, buy, it's up, sell. Hey, I'm over. It's over. I'm over it. I don't care if it goes down anymore or up anymore. I'm done with that trade. It went down, I bought. It went up, I sold. It went up a little bit, I got the fuck out. You should watch this guy trade, this lady just trading at the market, 25K. Hey, you just made $400. There you go. In 1 hour. Sure. You just do the trade. But you're going to have to keep doing that trade, and sometimes you're not going to make 400. Sometimes you're not even going to, sometimes you're going to make 1,000. Sometimes you're going to lose 300. Also, I saw Ryan Brown has his stops and take profits listed. He had take profits set, and he had no stops. So he's actually kind of risking the whole account. In a way, right? 'Cause something happened. Say Iraq or Iran start to go gay with each other or something. Also, you got this real long-term view. Here is a bottom become a top on the daily. Now, this is a structure set up where support becomes resistance. And maybe if no-nonsense guy's lucky, he sold here, right? He sells only if it's down. You got to have a nice bearish bar to get in on. And he wrote it down to here, and he got out. And we all know his trade plan. And maybe he's not even on this one because you know what? The cadence of this market isn't in sync with his fucking stupid, unless he has an adjusting moving average. If he has hard written settings, if your indicators can't adapt to the market and they're not adaptive moving averages, then you're completely fucked there too, because if you were going to use a moving average system, they would have to be adaptive. They would have to contour real time and curve fit all the time to what's going on. Or it's pointless. You can use a static fucking 20 EMA and expect the market to come to your respect your fucking stupid indicator. That's why I get so fucking pissed off watching these people. I'm like, dude, you're just really, this is like watching somebody with a goddamn algorithm trying to get laid. Well, I said, what's your horoscope? I'm using the 70s pickup tablet. You know, just my tablet crashes and it tells me, you know, it's blue screen. And I thought, yeah, I just overloaded the RAM. Why doesn't it just say, dude, you ran out of RAM? No, it's like, well, we're not working right now. So yeah, the swing, the people that can have a trade plan for a 20 pip bar and a 40 pip bar and a 60 pips sell off in 1 hour and a deep grid that's sitting out there just waiting to get filled on some psycho tickets, that person's going to make more money. They have more opportunity. Maybe not make more money because maybe they overdid it. Here I sold the British pound as it went railing up into my tickets. Here I got maybe stopped out on this. I'm not sure. That's the daily. I didn't delete these. I actually left all these hanging out there. Let me see. I think I picked up. See, once again, no fills on my super deep grids. I could have been more precise here. See, I'm selling way up there, but I'm not getting filled. I might have got filled here near the... No, these... I deleted those. If these tickets lasted with a wide enough stop, if those are daily drops, then I got filled. And this market never made it down to here in the British pound, so we never got that kind of insanity. Let me go full breakdown here of the... once again here, expecting a big smash here in Asia, but look, it keeps drifting up in Asia. This is a real breakout here. It retests. The confirmation people come in there, and then we retest again in London, this breakout point. If you're going to trade at the market, let's see the market orders. It's going to be, if it's big down, if you're bullish, if it's big down, you buy at the market, you buy at the market. You don't buy this, you don't buy that. Maybe you cash out everything. If it pulled back shallow in an up market, you're going to buy with a tight stop. Shallow pullbacks, tight stops. Big pullbacks, wide stops. So you buy here at the market with a wide stop. Here you get in with a tight stop. Maybe the tight stop has a tight take profit. It should have an initial tight take profit. You come back to structure here. Sellers come into Asia. Now it's about taking out the high of this, which it never does. It's satisfied with sweeping this haul out. And here comes the trailing sell stop bots, or the money management bots, protecting the bulls. Don't forget it's making higher highs on the daily. This is a higher high on the daily. It's always a big deal. The old higher high trick. I got to close down this. Chrome's taking over my system again. So, never take out this high. So if you're going to do divergence on the 1 hour RSI and you're going to babysit this thing and pull the trigger here, then, you know, bless your heart. The lazy thing to do would be put sell limits all the way up here, 10 pips apart, and then come back and see how that's doing. Or you don't have to worry about seeing how it's doing. If you've got take profits that are worse than break even, they're going to cash out here. Another thing I did was I ran some worse than break evens. If this was buy here with a 50 pip stop to make 40 pips, right? You got to think bad ratios on some of these trades to survive, right? You don't want to be like, oh, I got 8 pip stops in here. They're going to blow you out of that plunge. Maybe you got 30 pip to make 15. You got 30 to make 20. You got 30 to make 30, 30 to make 40. At some point, you got to have these shitty trades in there. Some of that because you're going to make money on that trade. Like right now, maybe you're selling here with a stop up here for a pullback here. And this would be like the Apari guy's doing. You'd be a wobble. Bad ratios, right? High probability, bad ratios. I mean, it's obvious, right? You're taking the risk because you know that dude, this is an obvious fucking trade. It's okay to run, but commingled in there, you can have an 8-pip stop. You can have all that stuff commingled. There is no all or nothing view of this thing. So that's the other thing I just want to say about trading is that if you can have the 64 Crayola crayon system, this is where it's acceptable to do that. I think in real life, you've got 3 primary colors maybe, and you're going to blend them. If you're going to do artwork, you're going to get very expensive pigments and blend your own color, make your own color. This is how you're going to make it look like nobody else's artwork. So in the market, the artist, they say, is trading an art or a science. Well, I think to me, it's total artwork. Like, you're going to say, I'm putting in this ticket for this little purpose. I mean, this is meticulous stuff. If you're really going to do it, you're really going to do it like that. And you're going to just plot every Sunday night. You would just drop all your tickets for the fucking week. You would just know this is stupid shit. This presupposes you're going to wait till the end of the week or wait till Wednesday and maybe cash out. You go, you know what? This is not a full swing trade. Or guess what? They stopped me out. Or guess what? I'm also presupposing it's a pure limit account. It's a 1 week drop. That's a completely different trading style than saying I'm waiting for the 4 hours to go smashing down 50 pips. If it doesn't fill my void, I'm going to buy at the market as it plunges in. So that's a tactical thing you would set out. Oh, that's how I'm going to trade it this week. I'm going to check it every day. You'd be like the no-nonsense guy, but you wouldn't be taking dumb shit setups of an indicator. You'd take reality setups off of reality. I'm just saying that the no-nonsense guy has to come to he has to at some point see what's going on. Instead of keep putting more indicators on to try to make it fit, right? I guess that's why they invented spandex, right? Because it's a one-size-fits-all. Yeah, if you get spandex moving averages, okay, I'm all over it, right? Because now, no matter how fat she gets, she's going to be like, she'll make it out of the house, right? If the house is on fire, she won't be nude. But let's face it, to tailor it with a Gartley pattern and try to get everything to fit in your Gartley, and you're like, oh man, this Gartley thing, it looks so good on it. When I back tested it with the 25, when I back tested it with 2% risk in my account, I mean, you can't be seriously thinking that this is how you approach it. And these people that are back testing it, and to hear the guys on, to read, some people are joking, I think. I always wonder, are people just being like ridiculous? Or are they being serious? Is this really dry humor that's like so dry that it's a put on? I think they called it that. Or the guy's always on. I just noticed a vacuum underneath the floor here. It just jumped out at me. Right here we have this bottom, and then we have this little mini vac here and low volatility right here. So, yeah, if you are putting standard lots, and I could put some standard lot tickets in here, and I could make a ton of money with less tickets, I suppose, but then I'm taking on more. I'd have to put more precision tickets in. I'm kind of doing a swing trade on this because I'm saying I really don't want to worry about like if we're going to keep smashing up. But yeah, I hear, if I'm going to trade one instrument here and every day look for the nooks and crannies. As soon as we go into uncharted water here on the 1 hour, we do have to go to the next time frame up, only because we cannot see the forest for the trees here. If the British pound ever makes it to these wicks, it's going to be fucking psycho time. And I want to be selling above that into the top of this whole giant vault here for some scalp craziness. It would be exciting to do that. I think if it ever made it to here, most people are going to get the fuck out. if this is the giant auction of the British pound, it just took out this and it's completely pissed off and coming roaring back. Now, if you're a swing trader and you're into this trade where you just keep buying, in fact, when it's down one day hard, and this would be a no-nonsense, you're going against no-nonsense here. You're going to buy here. The ATRs are exploding. You're going to buy very big with a very wide stop, and here you're going to buy with a very tight stop. I should say tight stops. You need to be getting in. Here's your limit. Your first limit is here. You're in. If you can afford to get in here, you are up on that trade. Like I said, if you can afford it, you have to see this coming. This trap. What's going on, right? This is what the hope is for the yen. All the currencies, notice they're all in this trap. The dollar to the yen, just because it's the dollar, it doesn't matter. They're all in that insane auction level. It is halfway through the year. This is where the dollar could just get annihilated from here on out. I mean, just annihilated. Look at all of these currencies just sitting down. Well, of course, this could keep tanking into the void. So I shouldn't say that. This could also keep tanking into the void. That the Australian dollar is really precariously sitting here at the abyss. Dare I say, the looming void down here could just be brutal. It's not that many pips, though. It looks amazing chart-wise, but the guppy can do that in 1 week. In 1 week, it can move these many pips. So don't forget, it's all relative to the, like, here's the guppy. I mean, dude, it moved 100 pips in 1 day. The Australian dollar is just trying to, you can barely get the party started here. In 1 week, it moved 100 pips, right? In 1 week, it went. So the daily, you're making like, what, 20 pips here? Dude, you know, 1 day, it's like, wow, we made 20 pips on this retracement bounce. Here, you sold in Asia, you made 40 pips in 1 day. I'm sure the guppy was coming unwrapped there. Look at this well, I guess this is quite a nice, here's a 40 pip retracement. Even this is insane amount of pips for that amount of time below there. We don't quite come back to the very top of that accumulation zone. But here's supply and demand. It's very dramatic. You know, you just need wider stops to trade this. The spread's worser. Okay, they closed. So the market just closed. Well, the 2.5 pip spread on that. And it's kind of tight here. But, yeah, this is, it just depends what kind of trade you want to do. How long you want to be in the market. Because look at the daily here. I mean, does it get more insane than this? I'm still baffled by anybody that has an indicator that's getting in. Is it getting in and out here? You got an algorithm you wrote for this, you say? Look at how the insane dimensional change month to month here. It's filtering out what? So here's a trap under the floor. Here's one you don't get to see on close. It's the same. See that? To me, that's the same thing. And there is the trap within the trap, right? So there's a trap down here, even though it's below this one. And it's smashing there. And then here is the lack of volatility on close. That's wave 4 for Elliott-Titians. Wave 4 just means they're getting in at the end of the volatility wave. And, of course, you can't do the symmetrical count on Elliott because this would be wave 4, this would be failure, this is wave 5, this is the end. And then this would be ABC because the C wave is like the 3 wave. It's going to be the biggest wave. But this would be, this is a B, C wave, right? Then what do you call this? And that's where you just, you have to abandon Elliott wave, because what you're asking to do is backwards count to make it fit. Another thing is Elliott wave really was supposed to be, I think, phases. In other words, accumulation for the last run up. In other words, wave 3 is the biggest wave, and you just want to perceive wave 2. You just want to get in a pullback, and then wave 3 is the big wave. So it's a 1, 2. Sorry, so a 1, 2, 3. You really want to trade wave 3, right? Because you can run a tight stop. So it's 1, 2, 3, or you want to go and trade wave C. You can perceive wave 4. It's going to be this big thing, but you can trade inside of wave 4. And this would be the failure supposedly, but it keeps going higher. But Elliott would call that an extension. There's another wave 4 that's even smaller. I don't even know how people are doing it. Honestly, I try to do it like it's kind of like, I noticed this hole to be more important. This, to me, seemed to be way easier to trade. Like it's just obvious. And if you're long the dollar CAD, you know, coming into, if you gobbled up here, you know you got to get out Sunday night here, and maybe you're going to hold till it comes back to, say, grabbing this top. Or maybe you're going to start selling into that. But you'd have to figure that out, how much money's in the account and how many currencies you want to track. Now, No Nonsense is claiming something like 20 currency pairs or more. I can't even, the number is so big I can't remember it. And on the daily chart, yeah, you know, I would look at maybe you're placing, I don't think he's placing orders though. See, he's not placing pending limits. What he's doing is waiting for the end of the day to make a decision. On his algorithm, how does it come up? And he's going to wait for the indicators to catch up. It's so cute that he's built this kind of laggy system that, or he's told people, live inside the lag and then just wait for your shit to catch up. And then get in the trade and be like, oh, now I'm really confirmated. Like, I'm so confirmed, but she's dead, dude. You waited for confirmation. She just got so drunk at the bar now she woke up dead. And you're out of luck, buddy. Sorry to tell you. But look at this thing coming back to the scalper's exit and a confirmation seller's window. We can see the other guy's trade, I hope, right? Do you want to take that trade, or you want to go for what's door number 3? You know, this is Monty Hall trades forex. But I would be happy to have scalped some of the bounce of this. And this would also mean I'm going to do maybe some risk 15 to make 10. Just a little bit less than break even. Could have made 20 pips here. Could have made quite a few pips there. Right? I could have made 20. Could have made 30. If I would have bought here, and I bought this whole rack with a stop here, a hard stop, or maybe I have a First Bank's got a stop here, and maybe I do have a shallow stop here and I got stopped out. Imagine you're getting filled on this, and inside there you're going to risk, on this ticket you got a 20 pip stop, or so you got a 30 pip stop to make 15. You're out of that one. Here you got a 20 pip stop to make 30, and here you've got you get filled here on a 40 pip stop to make 20. You're probably going to make your 20, and that 40 pip stop could have survived a lot of punishment. So the way I look at it is, if you are not going to be able to babysit these markets, this is the obvious approach, is to buy this area. And this is real estate that is just itching to be filled and killed. And you could have already padded the account. Actually, you could have gone flat, even though you never made your final target. If you bought, in other words, you would have to take a loss on this ticket. Like, say, the very first top of that rack, and that's why sellers would come in there, because they have the same problem as you do. Somebody has that problem. Right? Somebody bought here, and they're like, holy shit. And they ride that wick to here, and they get out, and they say, oh, we should have stayed in that. But no, that was the rules of the game, is that if you bought this low, you would sell it this low, and you already predefined that because you could see this low, right? Even in Asia, you could see that low. But why aren't people buying there? Well, what if it keeps going down? Well, count on it. In fact, I hope it goes down and goes down, 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 down. The whole day, it's filling limits. At the end of the day, you can do the no-nonsense inversion trade where you buy here with a wide stop, and the next day, you buy again with a tighter stop, and you're still getting filled on your insane limits, because here's where you start martingaling in. Right here is where you buy more than you've ever bought in your life. And this is another great reason to buy. And you ride that storm. And then here, you're going to even buy more than you bought in this window because it's feeding off those zones, isn't it? Or is that just me? I don't know. That's what conclusion I've come to about the markets, is it's feeding off the void. So, anyways, that's the incoherent wrap-up of the week. Once again, buyers came in on crude here. I can't even believe why. Could it have anything to do with this monster fucking a haul in a nice, I would say, 0, 1, 2 period divergence? How do I know it's a divergence? Because if I draw a trend line here, it's diverging away. How about it's just not going down anymore? It's a very shallow pullback. This is such obvious shit. Like, people sit there on the chart and go, well, this is swing low to swing high. Yeah, but how big is the swing? It's a baby swing down. It's like it's running out of gas. A child could fucking trade this shit. What is wrong with people? Why are you putting Gartleys on your chart? I don't fucking get it, man. You couldn't see this structure issue? You really couldn't see that? Well, it's going down. We were bearish. We sold right here. And dude. So the no-nonsense guy is like, I'm going to start trading other instruments. This is really easy. He's going to sell here. I got it. He's going to sell here. Well, we just moved to break it. Well, at least he run a trailing stop, made $3 on crude. I love how these markets just go nuts and go quiet nuts. And these people are just sitting there going, well, they're trying to net fish with some algorithm. Dude, the fish are going in wherever the water goes, they're going. They're manipulating these markets is what they're doing. So, this is a big, high-value supply zone. But it's a demand zone for other people. We'd be selling there. Wow, look at this thing. And if this is really going to take off, look at the monthly. So why did sellers come in up here? I would say, well, this is the big breakout point, and this is the other place that people would have just said, you know what, we're out. Like, actually, and this monthly rooftop here was like, holy shit. Even the low volatility breakout things, and here's the money management getting filled on the sell side, monthly confirmation breakout people. If you can look at this bar by bar, man, this is the only way I can look at these markets. Look at how they just grabbed the very low of that month. Man, what a sell-off this was, huh? 3 months of brutal crush. And where does it turn hard? On this wedge, on this insane wedge. Wow, what a classic. Now maybe you drift up a little bit. I mean, don't forget you had to wait a year for this entry. You knew this existed. You had to wait a year for them to come back and fill you. Are you waiting a year for that? If you just started trading and you're like, oh yeah, I heard about this, like, get in here where it's really a deep, distant, past, uncharted water. Like, once it fills that void, holy shit. And in 1 month, we give back 1 year in 1 month of prices. Wow. How about the guy that sold up into that? I'm shelling. Fuck him, I'm shelling. He sells every rally. He holds on. He's got a big fat stop at 100. He's like, I trade like that all the time. So there's all sorts of ways to trade this. I don't think I can suggest anything that would fit your personality. You just have to go, I like getting in here. You know, I ain't got time to watch this shit. I'm just going to put buy limits in here and put sell limits up here. I'm just going to walk away. I'm over it. You know, I'm going to fucking sit. Or you're going to like the thrill of sitting there on the 1 hour chart or waking up at 3 a.m. and trading London Open or getting in on some plunge or throwing your tickets out on the 15-minute. Or you just want to run a tablet and just hit tickets and just go, yeah, this looks like a good place to capture a plunge. I'm just going to throw a net. I'm kind of doing like a fisherman's net. I don't know where the fish necessarily are, but I know they're somewhere around here. So if I just throw a net in, and if I write enough diversification in tickets and I buy more or deeper, longer lasting, that if these orders delete themselves every month, then I'm never going to get involved in this plunge because those tickets are gone maybe, or every year I delete them, I should say. Because if I have these pendings that I'm like, oh my God, are they finally they're really going to come back to this, they're really going to retest the low from last year? That is nutty. And it's just a classic, and I think we didn't quite take out this low here. But that is insanity, isn't it? I just got to say that's insane. So I think I could explain this to somebody that's never traded in their life. But like I said, if you've seen a moving average, if you've seen a cloud, if you've seen all the fucking shit that this guy, No Nonsense, is putting out there and spewing out there, you know, I got to give him a break there because he does really agree with me about Fibonacci's complete bullshit. Round numbers are bullshit too, although they are a gauge of just how many pips we're at. If we're at 73 pips and I want to try to make 100 pips, 74 is going to be my target in loose terms. But on the way there, you need to be taking stuff out. He does scale out. He does undertrade the market. Okay, he's the rescue. Like he's like where people are coming across the Mexican border and they've just been raped and forced to test drugs, see if they're good. And they make it across the border. Okay, they may be in the concentration camp with air conditioning, too much air conditioning. We've all seen that problem. Here's your air conditioning. Okay, well, it's a little bit cold. And at least it's better than getting beat up and overtrading and just willy-nilly. And yeah, you filtered it down to you're only going to accept certain criteria for your life. It's so pigeonholed but you're so fragile in a way because you know, the guy was talking, and I didn't do a thing on it, and I found the wrong videos. No Nonsense does a thing about the future on gold and Bitcoin and all this stuff, and where you should park your money, what country you should have it in. You know, these are all great, wonderful, like better housekeeping stuff. But the exciting part about trading is the mystery of price movement. Why does price do what it does? I think that is if you can answer that question. Because after it does what it does, if that's just going to come across your scanner system or your Gartley scanners or your moving average, you know, auto-adjusting moving average systems or your giant news, NeuroNet pulls the trigger because, you know, something happened. I don't know. You can see it's either an art, a mysterious art. It's better you should abandon the Fibonacci's and just, if you're going to do Fibonacci, run 10 of them. Get 10 different charts. Have your daily fibs. At that point, you're going to end up with so many fibs on there, those might as well just be entry order tickets. It just becomes obvious that the fractals of, if the 4 hour and the 1 hour and the 15.5 hour Fibonacci's are got to be different. If you stack tickets up in those areas, all those orders make sense because now you're forced to scale in across 10 time frames maybe. Now, how tight are the stops on each ticket? How long do they last? How often do you trade? How many currencies are you trading? Well, that's like saying you built a car that can go 10 different directions, but can it go at 10 different speeds in 10 different directions? And can it handle going long distances and short distances at a creeper gear? Can it drive really slow in the heat through Death Valley? Can it grind up a mountain in a hot? Can it grind down a mountain on ice? I mean, when the news comes out, when the news comes out, it's almost like you're driving on ice. There's really no support and resistance. I mean, it's so fluid, it's so liquid, it's so insane. If the news is shocking the market from a bullish and bearish standpoint, and it ends unchanged in a doji at the end of the day, in other words, it cleans out all the stops on both sides, so to speak, and you're just left flat, right? And you're like, holy fuck, a pin bar, now what? Yeah, okay, well, after you've done that, the market has to regather its senses, so to speak, to get a range going to even trade a breakout out of. If you're a breakout trader now, you kind of, as Akil Stokes would say, you ruin the chart. But there's no such thing as a ruined chart. It's just that the data went up and down hard, and now the data's not doing anything like that. It does sound like the North Carolina. Well, some people, in other countries, they're not trading. The market's not moving. Duh. Like, so you got in a minute, buddy. So, this is the problem: is the market goes into a sloth mode, and you're like, oh my God, am I going to make any money this week? The market's not doing shit. Well, it's time to not do shit, I guess. You got to, if you're going to try to scalp every day and make money. So this guy I was talking to once is like, well, can you make $50 an hour? Well, that presupposes the market's moving at that rate of change. And do you have a scheme to grab that much and actually grab it and cash out? Or you're up $50 an hour, you're up $250 in 10 hours, but you didn't get up out of the fucking trade, and now it's all the way back to the starting gate, and you're like, holy shit. I mean, the market's just not like that. I mean, how many pips could you make a month? Well, it depends what the market's doing. And on the big setup things, if you're going to stock a market, and that's what they would call it, we used to just stock the market at the end of the day data, because stock, look at this thing. Is what's going on here? It's getting quiet. Which way is it going to break? Because you're not stocking the market when it's moving 1,000 miles an hour, are you? It's like, dude, it's ripping. Like, we have to wait for this thing to calm down to even catch up to it, to even fucking get on board it. Like, you can't jump on a train that's going up 350 pips every hour, because now you need 150 pips stop just to make 50 pips. And if you are in that trade, and you're probably getting out, because you're like, this is too insane. I don't know if you've ever been in a trade like that, but you're way up, and then your account's gone. You're like, what just happened? If you try to trade the election news, that's what would happen. That terrain is not built for any type of system that you have built, because you don't build systems for 500 pip moves in total. I'm talking 100 pips up, 90 pips down, 40 pips up, 90 pips down. I mean, a spastic market that covers 500 pips, but the range of the days may be only 300, but it's inside of there, it's spastic. There's no kind of like structures that last more than maybe 40 seconds. There's a high probability structure on a 3-second chart maybe, but then you've got the spread is too wide to, all right, so on the monthly charts, you're like, oh, well, yeah. But then people would dial down to the 1 hour for entry, where that's not fair, because if you dial down to the 1 hour, then you got to start thinking about trading for 3 hours. Are there any 3-hour trades out there? Is there an 8-hour trade I could do where I get in 2 hours, I accumulate, I gotta just, take the risk and accumulate in an area that's tight, and then we're in a doji, we're trapped on the floor. Are we going to engulf? Are we trapped on the ceiling? Are we going to engulf? Or trapped on the rooftop? So my trading system would be, certainly my trading book would all be just different phrases, I suppose. Hopefully you'd have your own kind of trick. This turtle soup thing that the ICT talks about, which I think what he means is the market's just meandering. But the turtle soup to me is like an entry zone because it's typically beneath something there. Oh, I just realized I got a splinter in my hand. When the market's in a kind of like a non-descriptive mode and it's noisy, 80% of the time. That's why there's no trades typically. It's always turtle soup in some regard, depending on time frame. So these are all just ridiculous terms, and I don't know. I've been banned from Twitter, so I refuse to. They want some phone number for me to log into, and I'm like, go fuck yourself. I'm wasting my time with the Twitter thing. But some guy said there's something else out there. I'm going to try it. There's another. But, the problem with these Facebooks and Twitters, it just reminds me of people that jump on some Fibonacci train in a way. I mean, it's like the Fibonacci of trading is like, Facebook really, yeah, I got my friend posted a funny video where these guys are working out and they're playing instruments and stuff. It looks like they're having sex, I think, but they're playing instruments. It's like this really crude overlay. Yeah, it's entertaining, I guess. I don't know. I guess I'm too into the ongoings of price movement here, and let me just take a last look at Bitcoin. I'm curious to see what it's doing. I can't really focus on all these things simultaneously. I don't have a Bitcoin on my tablet either, so here we're back to 10,000, so we're all the way back to the sell window on Bitcoin. Wouldn't you know it? So now the people are calling for Bitcoin, and I do think it's going to crush this window here. But there's going to be people cashing out up here. But this is another, like I said, I hate to sound like one of these fundamentalists, but this is, I saw McAfee's I'm getting my news from YouTube, so I don't know if it's valid, but there's a guy that says 31 terabytes is going to be released by the McAfee guy, who's a big Bitcoin guy, and it's interesting. He's got this, like, if you don't hear from me, I'm going to release it, because he's got this, like, time password key that's running, and if something happens to him, they're just going to dump all this dirty laundry of the government. And it's just so funny when he said, yeah, well, that's, Bitcoin is going to be where people run to. But I don't see, I guess, intrinsic value of holding Bitcoin. I guess you're holding an exchange. And the only intrinsic value here is if you own Bitcoin, then you're kind of participating in your own real exchange. There's a ledger of you holding the Bitcoin. Whereas for you to go into the Eurodollar, when you get out of that trade, you're not locking up any resources. The broker would let you put that trade on. The liquidity pool, you're not really drawing from it. In Bitcoin, you could say the only intrinsic value of it is the fact that people that own a lot of it get to dictate or get to be a clearinghouse for it. And if that tightens up and it's the demand is for that one unique address, that one coin. Whereas you don't have that. In forex, you're just in a pool taking the other side of the trade. So I don't think there's a unique amount. Whatever the central bank would dump into the forex liquidity pool, I'm assuming they can expand and contract it. Where, yeah, there's a unique number of Bitcoins. So in a way, it's but it's funny to watch this next vacuum here up to the almost 1200 level. Wow. But I would definitely be selling for the scalp here. But look at this thing launch off of this real top. So it's a pure market in a sense. And in the weeklies, people are just starting to sell this. I'm sure of that. The scalpers are coming in right now because they're taking out this Williams fractal on the weekly of Bitcoin. So all the aggressive sellers will be selling everything above that. Let me see if I can stretch this without it crashing. Okay, so you're almost in that window. And another thing to consider about Bitcoin, why is it such a pure market? Is because it never closes. Another thing is that the world is a 24-hour world. Another aspect of this is that, forex is closed on the weekend. And that's a big deal. And when we used to trade, me, myself, and I used to trade commodities, the fact that the market was only open for like 225 minutes was like, oh my God, really? I got to get this trade on. I mean, you literally had to be there for the opening, and you watch the open, and you try to judge it, and does the gap to open? Does gaps fill? I don't know. Do they fill? I mean, you just fucking lose your mind. Bitcoin is continuous data. Like, you go to the 1 hour chart, you probably backtest a fucking robot on this thing, and look at this. I mean, that's the problem. The thing is, look at this Bitcoin. The 4 hour chart. Are you kidding me? Look how brutal these moves are. He's moving $1,000. I don't know if I'd want to build a breakout bot for the 1 hour, 4 hour, but I guess you could, right? I would go like here and say, could you do it? Okay, let's run through the breakout trades here, and then we'll close out the thing. So, if you had something that could trade this breakout, it would have to take something off the table before this. And here comes another breakout bot. And this bot made money, but it's coming into this hole, so you got to cash out into here, right? Okay, this breakout bot cleaned up, and no more breakout bots came until here. And if it ran a trailing stop, then but this is a trend trade entry, low volatility, pullbacks in the structure, almost in the structure. But yeah, this thing, you got to be looking left and seeing that it's filling a void. It's such a rapid pace here that's what's driving it, and you'd have to adjust accordingly. On the daily, you only got one chance to buy here, the only pullback. That's it. Pulls back to the breakout point. Wow. So a lot of people still own Bitcoin. Don't forget, because they bought here, it's not like there was a margin call. Don't forget, it's a real thing. In that terms, it's a real thing. Like, if you bought Bitcoin and your account's at like nothing, and you wake up after this, look at this low volatility situation under the floor. And here, once again, the vacuum under the floor is very pronounced here. He's got a very pronounced void right here. This void underneath that. I was deleting the wrong thing here. Wait. Let's start over. And look at that. My God. And you knew it was a buy when you saw ICT call out $100. You knew you had to buy when he said it was going to 100. But a lot of people were thinking, what if it takes this out? What if it takes that out? Interesting. The end of the year. Low volatility. Everybody's wondering what's going to happen. We're filling that. This is going to take some work here. I'm definitely would be selling into that for a pullback to here, to where we're at now. If I was going to do a scalp, sell, counter trend trade, obviously, because it's still screaming north here. It's out of control. And if the Dow goes up, it's really weird to watch all the markets go in the same direction, kind of. Look at that breakout on the Boeing. Boeing's gonna crash a plane, into kamikaze plane in Iran. So we got a record breaker here on the S&P 500. Damn, it's buried in here. That looks a nice scalp here on that weekly. This thing looks like they've trapped and leaving the station. Going north. I'd be selling gold like a whore here. Gold's reached its target. Seller's world. Total seller's world. Wow. Your classic price pulse sell here. Got this measured move. You're in the seller's window. Wow. I'd be cashing out on my gold right now. I'd sell all the gold I own. The monthly. Jesus. What's going to happen? So I'd be a buyer down here, I think. Look at that thing. 1,400 on gold. That is a 7-year high. 6-year high? Wait, I don't count good. I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-year high. Going after the 6-year highs. Wow. It's going nowhere. People are selling that. I would totally cash my gold out here. For the scalp at least. I mean, just if you're really a gold guy, you're probably just going to put buy limits down deeper. I'd just get the fuck out. That's a tremendous move. It's psychotic. Dollar. Buying right here. So it's not going like the dollar CAD right now, but look at that. Look at that hole. They're going to be buying that for the lock that in. This looks like an easy sell here. Just to sell at the market, the 4-hour chart. I mean, I don't trade all these currency pairs, but if I did, it'd be a lot to keep track of because I have expectations. When I sell that at the market, I'm expecting to at least make 10 to 15 pips here. And then I got to go look at that trade and think, am I trading big enough on that for that to make sense? Here's the obvious buy window. We've scalped to the floor already on the euro. Right, if we bought this low, we got our scalp in. If we bought that, we cashed out. That's the daily view. The weekly view. Insane trap down here. Wow. Euro Swiss. Mind-blowing. I'd definitely be buying that coming into next week. This is another creeper gear mover, not moving a lot of pips. Buy down here. Obviously. Another buying opportunity here as we go sideways. Here's the sell on limits against the confirmation people. It's up, you're selling. You got sell limits in this pocket. You got buy limits down here. This is the low to get over. We got to get over the hump here. We got to get over this. We've been to that once. Now we got to get over that. Still, I'm going to buy here coming into next week for 100, 200 pip range. So if you can afford to put your 100 pip stops in there, you can swing trade that. Nice. We didn't go low enough here to get filled at the very rock bottom, though. We didn't get that filled, but we got this. So that was the notch. That was the better price. The deeper it is, and look at finally on the daily, when they smash into this hole. Anything below here I'm buying, and this was a winner for a little bit, and then the final assault was to take out that. Once again, at the round number, clean 100 pips in one day, and you're selling now, and maybe you got sell limits staggered here. Here was the low volatility breakout on the euro yen, right in this hole, fills this hole. Here's your trend trade or your low volatility entry, the only one on the daily. Just looks easier than all those indicators, that's all. So, anyways, that's my hour and 55-minute rant.